Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beth, and today I'm going to film my Black Friday haul. So admittedly, it's a little shameless, but I have a few justifications, rationales, if you will. One, some of these items were purchased specifically for creating content, so there's that. Secondly, I was unfortunately stuck at home over Thanksgiving because I had a chest cold. My mom had surgery the coming week, so we didn't want to get her sick, so I stayed home. And yeah, I was at home sick, and there wasn't a lot to do aside from surfing the internet, right? And lastly, I plan on making some changes to how I approach YouTube in 2025. So with that in mind, I plan to do a low buy. I'm not going to say a no buy because I think when you work in absolutes, it just becomes a little bit more of a challenge, I guess. So anyway, so I'm planning a low buy in 2025, at least for the first quarter, we'll say. And when I say low buy, like I'm not including anything I need that I absolutely run out of, like toothpaste, for example, obviously. But I don't want to spend a lot of money purchasing things just for the sake of the channel. So I've done that a little bit in the past month or so, but having a full-time job, I just don't have the amount of time necessary to cover all the products that I purchase. So I think I have enough kind of video content ideas to take me into February of next year, for example. So I just want to kind of adjust how I approach YouTube and not kind of run out to purchase the latest, greatest thing and rush to get a video up as soon as possible, because it's not good for me, like mentally, financially. It's not in my best interest. So I'll just leave it there. You may not even notice a change, but I just don't want to feel the pressure to purchase like the latest foundation and get a review up as soon as possible. I want to purchase things that I think will actually work for me. Okay, so with all that being said, I did go a little ham over the Black Friday month, week, however you want to call it. So I'll start off by talking about a tea purchase I made. So I'm going to include some more lifestyle things, and I placed an order with Celestial Seasonings. I purchased quite a few boxes of tea, and I pretty much only got herbal or caffeine-free tea because I like drinking tea in the evenings as I'm kind of unwinding in bed. And I just brought this box out. I think I purchased 11 boxes altogether. But if you haven't tried this particular variety, the Sugar Cookie Sleigh Ride, I recommend it, especially if you enjoy like an herbal or caffeine-free tea. The ingredients in this one include milk, thistle, roasted barley, orange peel, natural sugar cookie flavor with other natural flavors, and vanilla bean. So one of the things I like about this one is if I feel like I want a little bit of a sweet treat at night, but I don't want to necessarily have the calories or whatever of dessert, this kind of satisfies a bit of that sweet tooth without having any calories. And this one is seasonal. So I bought, I think, 3 or so boxes of this particular variety, and then I purchased a few others as well. So yeah, nothing too fancy, but I do enjoy their tea. Okay, so Merit. So you've probably heard that Merit was running its only sale for the entire year over the Black Friday weekend. So they had 20% off, and they also had this really adorable, very small little mini bag of theirs. So normally they have a larger bag, like a more appropriately sized makeup bag maybe, that you get as a gift with purchase with your first order. But they had this special little bag that you could get with any order. I think they ran out before the end of the Black Friday weekend, but anyway, it's super adorable. I'm not sure how practical it is, but it's very, very cute. So I got that, and I also picked up one of their solo shadows. So I haven't tried this formula, so I wanted to give it a shot. I'm not a huge like single shadow person or a cream shadow person, but so many people have talked about this. And so yeah, I wanted to give it a shot. I purchased this before Thanksgiving, I think, but coincidentally, it seems quite similar to the color of the year for 2025, which is Mocha Mousse. So I might be incorporating this into my Mocha Mousse video that I have planned. So yeah, curious to see what that is like. And then I also purchased 2 of their lipsticks. So this is the signature lip formula, and I got the shades Millennial and Baby. So I had tried this formula before. Merit had sent me some PR last summer maybe, but I picked out a shade in this formula that was like a red, like a limited edition red shade. So I wanted to try some of their more neutral shades. So this, and they don't have it on the actual packaging. That's not helpful. Okay, so the shade I think that I'm wearing is Baby, I believe. So I'll just apply a little bit more. So I do like this formula. So like I said, I did want to try in some more neutral, kind of year-round shades. So yeah, I do enjoy these. One dirty little secret I thought I would pass along is that the reason why I think you see so many influencers talking about Merit, and I paid for this out of pocket, so it wasn't PR or anything. But Merit does have one of the higher affiliate percentages that I've seen. So I think their marketing is geared more towards influencer word of mouth than like advertisements and that kind of thing. So I think on different platforms, affiliate platforms, they can pay as much as like 30%. So I do like a lot of their products. I'm not saying that it's entirely dishonest when influencers talk about the brand, but I just thought I would mention that in case you just wanted a little bit of context for maybe why you hear so much about Merit at certain times. But yeah, it was nice to get the 20% off. I also happened to get a little sample of the Merit Retrospect perfume. I think this was from Sephora. Nice little sample though, just as like a deluxe sample. And it has the notes, which is nice as well. So the top notes are bergamot, pear, ambrette, and aldehydes. The heart notes are jasmine, rose, rosemary, violet, and orris. And the bottom notes are vanilla, musk, and moss. I like this. I don't think I love it, but anyway, I was happy to try it. Like I said, again, cute little sample. So from Urban Decay, I went ahead and purchased, I think, the remaining Moon Dust shades that I didn't have. So I think these went on sale at Sephora for like 30% off before they went on sale for like half off, and obviously half off is a better deal. So I'm returning, I think, a couple shades that I purchased from Sephora when they were 30% off. And I picked up basically, I think, all of the Urban Decay Moon Dust shades, other than, I think, Diamond Dog has been out of stock. I don't know if that was a limited edition shade that they're not bringing back, but we have the shade Wild Dipper, Crushin' Hard, let's see, Space Cowboy, of course, just purchased a refresher of that, Glitter Rock, Cosmic Craze, and Rebel Star. So that was one of those products I picked up for the sake of content, because perhaps unwisely I made it a mission to collect and share all of the glitter single shadows that have been released over the past year or so. So on my TikTok, and maybe on Instagram as well, I can't remember what I've posted where, but I swatched all of the new e.l.f. Finest Fleck shadows, all of the Charlotte Tilbury Hypnotizing Pop Shots, all of the Too Faced glitter shadows. I have all of the Patrick Ta shadows, so I need to film those swatches. And I wanted to have the Urban Decay shadows for kind of reference, and once I decide what they're doing with Diamond Dog, I'll either go ahead and film what I have or try to obtain Diamond Dog, I guess. So yeah, definitely not kind of an essential purchase, but when they were going for $12 a piece, I kind of figured that was the time to pick them up. And I wanted to have them for like dupe purposes as well. And on that note, I did also pick up the Moira Chroma Light Shadow Collection. So camera is having a lot of fun with that. So this is the entire set of, I think, 24 shadows. And they were having various sales on the Moira website. It would have been cheaper actually for me to purchase all of these individually, but I figured having the case, A, made it easier to buy, and B, it'll be easier to store and kind of keep track of. So that is what the individual packaging looks like. And I did actually already break out one of these. I wore the shade 01 Fairy Dust in my review of the Lawless palette, which went up on Sunday, which is today as I'm filming this, but in the past for you as you are watching it. So these are a nice affordable alternative to the Urban Decay Moon Dust. Pretty similar packaging. You get a lot of different shade options. These might even be cheaper than the e.l.f. I'm not sure. The packaging, of course, is not as luxe, but I think that's to be expected. I think these retail for like $6 full price versus $24 for the Urban Decay. And yeah, this was just another purchase I made for the sake of content and for having shadows to compare and possibly swatch all of these at some point. That's not super high up on the list of things I want to accomplish, but anyway, this was, I think, marked down to around $100. I think it normally retails for $125, and I actually paid closer to $75 because I had shop cash. You know, when you pay with shop pay and then you get a certain percentage of cash and it builds up and that kind of thing. So anyway, I was able to use that to get a good deal on that. So I went ahead and did that. Speaking of single shadows, I also have basically acquired all of the Sephora collection single shadows. And this is kind of an ongoing project I've undertaken over the last couple weeks. So I do plan to film swatches of all of these because the Sephora website doesn't really have a lot of good swatches or comparisons of all of these shadows. So I think these retail for $8 normally. They were marked down to $4, I believe, and then with the most recent Sephora savings event or whatever, they were 30% off. So I paid as little as like $3 for some of these. So anyway, it was kind of just taking advantage of that sale. I don't encourage you to buy these online because in almost every order I've placed with these shadows, one or more shadows has arrived broken. And even the shadows that are intact, some of that broken shadow will get onto them and it just creates a mess. So I end up returning a lot of those shadows, even though some of them are technically okay. They're just covered in other shadow. So yeah, definitely recommend buying online and picking up in store. And I'll talk more about this, I guess, when I eventually swatch these. But even then, make sure that you are getting an intact eyeshadow because these are sold at Kohl's as well. Kohl's has different prices sometimes from Sephora, but anyway, even one of the shadows I purchased at Kohl's for pickup was broken, and I didn't realize it until I got home, which was unbelievably frustrating. So anyway, that has been a project, like I said. I think I've gone to 3 different Sephora locations plus Kohl's to try and hunt all of those down, and I'm still missing 2 shades. The shade Hurricane Waves, I think, is the one that I picked up at Kohl's that is broken, so I need to replace that. And then Soulmate is the other shade that I have not been able to track down. I'm actually filming this little insert a week or so after I filmed the main part of the video, and I did want to let you all know, provide a little update, that I was able to track down the 2 missing shades. So this one is Soulmate and this one is Hurricane Wave. So the interesting thing is, as you may note, I also purchased this one. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is what the shadows I just showed you look like. So it appears they put all of these on sale because they have repackaged them. I'm not sure yet whether they have reformulated them, but as I said, I had a lot of issues with breaking and that kind of thing, so it would make sense if they repackaged at least. So I'll go into a little bit more depth about differences and that kind of thing when I film that video. So I did purchase the same shade in the newer packaging that I had in the older packaging, just by way of comparison. So these are both the shade Twinkle Twinkle It looks like that number is different. I don't know if that's just a batch code, but yeah, Twinkle Twinkle Glitter, still made in Italy, same Best Buy date and everything like that. It says they're still removable. So once they post these new ones on the website, hopefully I'll be able to see if there are any formulation differences, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. And just for a little bit of history here, so these are all the newest ones. Those were all $8 a piece, of course. The older one, and then this was, I guess, 2 generations ago now. This was in the shade Shooting Star, which I don't think they've carried over to the newer line. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. That one Sephora location, I think this was the Sephora on like 34th Street near Macy's in New York. So yeah, that's where they had these out. I'm sure they'll be rolling them out soon to other locations. So anyway, yeah, look forward to that video, and hopefully it will be up in time for whenever the spring Sephora sale is. Okay, so moving on to Lawless. So I mentioned that I filmed a review of her palette. So this is the Dreamy Dozen Volume 2, so I'll link that review for you up above. But yeah, I got this for 30% off. It's now marked down, I think, for 30% off anyway. So you can still get a good deal on it. I think it's limited edition. I also included this fun little mirror, so that was cute. And then I also picked up one of the blushes. So I got the Pinch My Cheeks Soft Blur Cream Blush in the shade Angel. So that is what I'm wearing today, and I do like it. I don't think it's my favorite cream blush formula ever, but yeah, I've been kind of curious about it. So I picked that up. And as I mentioned in my Lawless review, a lot of times you'll see Lawless on the Good Morning America or the View deal sites, flash sale sites. So you can pick up a lot of their products for like half off. So I haven't purchased anything through that because usually the free shipping threshold or whatever is maybe around $50. And I never wanted to purchase enough products to get to that threshold. But if you did want to pick up a lot of the glosses, or sometimes they have eyeshadow palettes or these blushes even, then that is a good thing to watch out for. I also got a BHA exfoliant from Paula's Choice. This is the 2% lotion exfoliant, so it's not the like liquidy toner version that is super viral and popular. This one has a bit of a thicker texture, like so. So I've used the 2% toner, whatever, in the past, and I've enjoyed it. The reason I picked that one up is because sometimes I just forget to use like a liquid toner as my first step. Like I'll spray a hypochlorous acid solution on first and then go in with a moisturizing toner. So sometimes I just want to incorporate a BHA at a later step in my skincare, and it just makes more sense to me to have a product like this. So I've used it a few times and I've enjoyed it. I have also purchased, but I haven't received yet, the like 1% sensitive BHA, which I also like. I've gone through pretty much a whole mini or travel size of that. So that one is really nice as well, especially if you have more sensitive skin and you want to incorporate a BHA kind of frequently, but you don't want to overdo it. I really like that one as well. More skincare. So from City Beauty, I purchased, talking about products that are a little bit overhyped perhaps by influencers. So City Beauty had 40% off. So I picked up 2 of their lid lifting treatments. These are supposed to smooth and tighten. So I did receive PR from City Beauty a couple years ago, maybe now, and I might have had an affiliate code or link or something at one point, but I don't really have anything now that I'm promoting. So anyway, so I had received this, I think, in PR from City Beauty, and I was using it for a while, and then I was trying some other things, and now I still have a little bit of this left, but I'm pretty sure it's expired. The one thing I do like about City Beauty is that they often have expiration dates on their products, or at least manufacturing dates. So it gives you a little bit of a sense of maybe when you should chuck it. So this one, for example, was manufactured in October of 2024. So it's a good way to kind of keep yourself honest, at least if you keep it in the box. So like I said, I had used this for a good while, and I think I did notice some good results. So I wanted to pick up this product again. It's a pretty, I guess, thick kind of eye cream type treatment. So I haven't started using this newer tube yet. I kind of wanted to maybe take some before and after pictures. I've tried some other products from different brands that haven't really seemed to do a whole lot. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to kind of start from ground zero. So anyway, I picked both of these up at 40% off. So I think I placed these next few purchases maybe on Thanksgiving, and the guardrails kind of came off because I was feeling sorry for myself. So I did end up placing an order from Swede Beauty. They were having 30% off. So I purchased their Glass Skin Foundation in the shade 01 Light C. So hopefully that is a good match. And then I also picked up their Air Blush Cream in the shade Cheeky. So that is being shipped presumably from Sweden. So it's being shipped internationally. So that has not yet arrived. But I'm looking forward to trying those products. From Bloomingdale's, I picked up the limited edition Prada eyeshadow palette for holiday 2024. I blame Swede Beauty for the purchases around this period, I guess. So yeah, so I picked this one up. I think it was down 15% off, so it was like 78 instead of 92. Not tremendous, but you know, it's something. So this is what I'm wearing on my lids today, and I did already film my review and demo and everything of this palette, so I will have that linked for you. It will probably go up before this video. YSL had 30% off, and I was kind of hemming and hawing about whether I was going to pick anything up, but I caved and I've got two of the Couture mini clutches. So I got the shades 700 over Noir and 710 over Brune. So these are the two newest variations. And I don't know, I'm always attracted to these, even though the two that I already had have not really worked out for me that well. But I do love the packaging. I think they did an absolutely fantastic job with this. So the two shades that I had previously were the 100 Store Dolls, which is I think one of the best sellers, and the shade 600 Spontina Lilies. And I think my biggest issue with the Store Dolls was that the formulations of the various shadows, like I think one of the shades I wanted to be a matte was more of a shimmer. It just didn't work out how I wanted it to, even though the color story is really beautiful. So it looked like the Over Brune variation was going to be a little bit better in that regard. So I just really want to, I guess, find a variation in this formula that I really love. Ultimately, I'm not sure that like designer shadows are really for me, but you know, that's another story. So this one is 100 Store Dolls, and this one is Over Brune. So you can see it looks quite a bit warmer by comparison. So anyway, we will try this one out at some point. I believe I featured the Store Dolls in a video I did maybe late last year, early this year. But if I can figure that out, I will link it for you. This one is the shade 700. So this is the kind of smokier color story, and yeah, it just looked, I don't know, kind of pretty and interesting, and the silvery shade was really pretty. So yeah, look forward to trying that one out for a smokier look. The other palette or mini clutch I had from before was the Spontina Lilies. One thing I do wish is that they, I don't know, as much as I love the packaging, it does get a little bit more difficult to distinguish them. So that was the other one I picked up. I did also pick up, mostly to get to free shipping, the Lash Clash Waterproof from YSL. So I had picked this up, I think from Sephora in the spring, but unfortunately I got an eye infection. shortly after using it. I'm really hoping this didn't cause the eye infection because that'll just be really sad and unfortunate. So yeah, I'll give this one another shot because I did have to toss my old one. So hopefully that goes better this time around. So this was not a planned purchase. Some of the purchases I made, I kind of knew that the brand would be having some kind of sale, so I kind of planned accordingly. This was kind of unplanned. So the headband or accessories company, Lele Sadoughi, they did a collaboration with Wicked, the musical, not the movie, but the musical. And I had purchased a few things when it first launched, spent kind of an obscene amount of money, to be honest. I'll quickly show you everything. So the headband that I'm wearing now is actually Lele Sadoughi. This was what was in the FabFitFun box one year, and that was kind of how I guess I learned about the brand. But they come in nice dust bags. So this one I purchased when it first launched. So it's a pink headband, but the fabric they used, they actually sourced the same material that they used for Glinda's popular dress, or Glinda's popular dress, if you will, on Broadway. So I just thought that was just such a cool kind of piece of history, if you will. So I wanted to pick this one up for myself. And then they also do pretty elaborate, like jeweled headbands or different embellishments. So this one is supposed to be for Elphaba. So I really just plan on kind of using these as display. I don't really plan to wear them, to be honest, but they're really, really beautiful. So this one is kind of an Elphaba headband. If you did want a Wicked headband at a more affordable price point, I think the ones that Paul Tazwell, I think it's Tazwell, did with Target, I think those are still available. I wore one of those in my review of the REM Wicked collection. And then I also picked up a pair of earrings. These, in retrospect, I could have skipped on. I think they're a little bit overpriced, and they're actually pretty heavy as well. So I don't know how much use I'll get out of them. They are really pretty though. And they're supposed to look like Glinda's wand from the original Broadway musical. So anyway, and those come in a little dust bag as well. So that is what I picked up originally. And then they had a 25% off sale that included Wicked items, which is a good lesson, I guess, because I wasn't sure if any of the like IP collaborations would ever go on sale. But anyway, it went on sale for 25% off. So I caved, and I got the Glinda headband that kind of matches those earrings. So it has her little wands and different embellishments. So again, this is going to be more like display than actually wearing, I guess. But they are really pretty. And then I also got for my niece, they do sell children's sizes as well. So I picked up the Glinda headband, the pink one, in the children's size. So I picked this up as a Christmas present. She will be 6, I guess, in January. So she's seen Wicked. There's the size comparison, just for reference. So she's seen the musical on Broadway. My brother and sister-in-law took her up to New York, I think last year. And they did take her to see the movie as well. So I don't know that she'll really appreciate it. She might like that it's pink. But anyway, I couldn't resist picking up kind of a matching headband for her. I think maybe last year I got her a matching like Barbie hoodie from Gap because they did that Barbie collection. So anyway, so that was it for Lele Sadoughi. I also picked up some Lego. So I am an adult fan of Lego, and I really like some of their kind of botanical line. So I've already made this, actually. It was not the most enjoyable build, if I'm being honest, but I did really like this kind of more traditional Christmas wreath with the cinnamon sticks and the orange and the berries and everything. So Yeah, picked that one up. I think that was like 20% off. I did pick up the poinsettia as well because it was marked down at Costco, but I haven't built that one yet. More random kind of lifestyle stuff. So I did buy a new vacuum from Amazon. I got a purple shark vacuum, which is kind of fun. And then from Marste, which is Marlena Stell's new brand. So she was having 30% off, which I thought was pretty cool for a new brand. And I just wanted to kind of show you the presentation and the packaging. So I paid for the Discovery set, but it comes in pretty kind of luxurious. Oh, it even has a handwritten note. I didn't see that before. It says Marste, the luxurious art of scent layering. Dear Elizabeth, thank you so much for your order. We are so grateful for you. So that's a nice touch. And then I kept it kind of in the tissue paper so you could see. And you can even smell it through the paper, which is kind of incredible. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a look at, I don't know, the attention to detail and everything that went into this brand, because it is a slightly higher price point, especially when you think about Makeup Geek and their prices. This one is a little bit more, you know, a higher end fragrance. So it looks like the individual vials are in there with worms, those paper worms. So the way that they have kind of organized this, I think there's kind of like 3 core fragrances and then 3 like essences maybe. All right, so in no particular order, Montmartre, Midi. I wonder if Midi is just the size, but that one is Montmartre. This one is Essence Santal. So this one is one of the essences. And then we have Une Nuit Parisienne Eau de Parfum. So maybe Montmartre Midi is the full name. Jardin du Luxembourg. And then we have Essence Vanille and Essence Mandarin. So apologies if I butchered any of the French, but yeah, I'm getting a little bit more into fragrance again, and I have like a perfume focus video to film, 2 actually, some candle focus videos, but you can hear I'm still a little bit kind of congested. I can still smell, I think, but I don't know. I just thought it wasn't the best look if I filmed a fragrance video when it didn't seem like I could actually smell. So anyway, so I do plan to do a dedicated like video with that at some point, probably in the new year. So from MAC. So MAC was having a crazy sale. They had 40% off their website, I believe, but I think Beauty Deals BFF Instagram, they posted something where if you purchased via Instagram, there was some kind of glitch, I think, where it was actually taking 40% off of the 40%. So you were actually getting closer to like 67% off. So you were paying a third-ish. So these blushes that I purchased normally retail for $30-something, and I got them for about $12 a piece. So I think I mentioned in my Lawless review that I really like the Glow Play blush formula as kind of a comparison product in a way. So like I said, I've purchased most of these now. I'm still missing a couple shades I think that I've ordered. And then there was one shade that I think was sold out on the Instagram platform. I placed an order for that shade on the MAC website because I was committed at that point, and that was just 40% off. But that one, it was canceled because they said it was out of stock, even though I went on the website then and it showed it as being in stock. So I don't know. I'll have to place a separate order for that shade at some point. But I basically have all of them save, I think there's 2 that have been delayed in shipping. So I'll probably do some kind of swatch video at some point. I didn't have any firm plans. It was just kind of, this was such a favorite formula of mine that when it was so inexpensive, I kind of wanted to just buy what I could. So that was MAC from Natasha Denona. So this was a sale that I knew was coming, and so I was planning to purchase a couple of things. So I ended up getting a refresh of the Biba palette from Natasha Denona. So just to show you my existing Biba palette. So I looked back in my email and I think I used like a $100 Rouge reward on this palette 5 years ago maybe. And as you can see, I think the way I was storing it at one point, like it got kind of discolored from the sun, I'm guessing at some point. And one of the shades, yeah, I hear that? That's not great. The shade Spot fell out at one point, so I had to kind of press it back in. I think that's one of her cream to powder shadows. So anyway, so I wanted to, you know, just be able to throw that away and have a fresh one. And this is really just for content purposes. I don't use this palette all that often or reach for it. This is one of her larger palettes. See, nice, no squeak. But yeah, I did want to just have it as a reference, especially since Natasha Denona kind of repeats or recycles shades periodically. And one of my projects while I was sick was I basically took all of my Natasha Denona palettes that have removable pans. So most of them, not all of the face palettes, but most of them. So I took all the pans out of the packaging and I laid them out on this gray desk mat that I have so that you have kind of an easy comparison between the palettes without being distracted by like the packaging. Because sometimes the packaging can kind of skew your perception of the colors. So that was a project I had, and I included Biba. I also picked up the Circo Loco palette. So this was a tiered sale, so you got a higher percentage off the more you spent, so you're kind of incentivized to spend more, obviously. But this was a palette I had never picked up. So again, I just wanted to have it for, you know, kind of reference and that kind of thing. So yeah, very, very curious to see what Natasha Denona releases in the spring. I have some guesses based on various trademarks that she's registered for, but who's to say? I was wrong on the Rose and Wood palette. I posted a short or reel about that palette. That ended up being one of her 5-pan palettes. So this size, this is the Coral palette, but just recycled shades from the Glam palette is what the Rose and Wood ended up being. I resubscribed to BoxyCharm so I could pick that one up. And yeah, Natasha Denona probably won't be included in my low buy. I'll probably pick up whatever she releases, but hopefully by picking up less products in general, I'll be able to focus a little bit better on what I purchase. Okay, and then the last thing, I did place an order at Nomad. So they had a better Cyber Monday sale than they did a Black Friday sale. So I ended up getting 2 of their more recent palettes. I didn't pick up the Japanese one. I might grab that one at some point, but I did get the Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. We went to Chicago in August, so that looked like a fun color story. I always kind of hate to use their palettes, to be honest, because they make the embossing so fun. But yeah, that one has some interesting colors. One thing that I do like about purchasing a palette when it's new is that they usually have some kind of fun element. Like I think for Polar Express, it might have been like a fake train ticket, like just like, you know, piece of paper or cardboard or whatever, but it just makes it a little bit more fun. So I did pick up their Polar Express palette, which is really adorable. And I do have this kind of on display at the moment, just as kind of beauty themed Christmas decor. So I do like how they design this. It's really clever. So you have the front of the palette, and there's a cutout here where this peeks through, but then they also printed it on the back. So even when you take the palette out, you still have that kind of train look to it. So this is the Polar Express palette, which is also really fun and icy. It's funny because I think I was a little bit too old by the time this movie came out, so that it never really became a part of my like Christmas tradition growing up. My husband's nieces, I think they watch it every like Christmas Eve or something, and they make hot chocolate when they make hot chocolate in the movie, which is kind of a cute tradition for them. But yeah, looking at that movie now, all I see is kind of bad CGI. But anyway. So I think that's gonna do it. So there were a few more sales that I was kind of tempted by, but ultimately I decided to skip for the benefit of my wallet perhaps. But I certainly didn't really hold back in general. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how ridiculous I was over Black Friday. Let me know if you found any great deals. I know we're gonna have the after Christmas sales here before you know it, and then straight on into the new year. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about any of the items that I've showed you or requests for future content. And with that being said, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.